Oh yeah, that's pretty acceptable. Pretty acceptable. What's going on, gang? What's going on, gang? Gang. Oh.
She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct. Who is it? So Brenda, I'm not telling you her last name on your stuff. I see. But let me tell you.
I saw this earlier. I might watch this one, Game Raymond. I wish I could like play this one. Here, I can do this. This thread was really funny to me. Let's take a peek anyway. This was a really funny interaction. I submitted this to Scrub Quotes because I thought it was fucking hilarious. Yeah. Oh, Megalo. Why don't you put some dick in your pussy? These guys actually do sound like 10-year-old. Like, they're grown adults, but they sound like their insults sound like 10-year-olds. You know what I mean? Dang. I thought that was really funny. You're easy, that's why your pussy's loose. Yo, based, and base build. So yeah, that happened. Went against this pick-me Twitch streamer named Simply Shroomy, who sadly streams off her Xbox, so we can't hear her teammates on her live. But after this game, she found who I was on her live stream and had her mods beg me in DM. Hey, I saw that you're a mod on Stephanie's stream. This is simply, I was in Simply Shroomi's party, yada yada yada. Shroomy didn't ask me to reach out to you, doesn't know that I am. She's really new to streaming, and having a big creator calling her out, especially when these things are being taken out of context, is really stressing her out. It would be great if there was a way for them to hash things out, or at least discuss what happened. Shroomy is literally going through a VOD, perseverating on every single thing she might have seen as offensive. I understand that your teammates said a lot of unsavory things, but they do not speak for Shroomy. Okay. Yo, what's up, Joe?
What drama?
Oh, nah, dude, the fucking, it's this funny gamer drama. This streamer, she's this professional Call of Duty player. She's like kind of like pops off on TikTok and YouTube. But she wound up running into this Twitch streamer who streams on their Xbox, who was rather spicy. And after this interaction, this person wound up ending their stream after they found out who the other streamer was, and wound up having their mods DM them and be like, "Hey, can you like not? Can you like not?" And it's like, this is like super like against like Twitch TOS, so
Wait, how?
it's kind of like one of those "can you dot" type of deals.
I mean, how is this against Twitch TOS?
So on her, I think they might have already said it, but on her team side, like her teammates are like spamming like, "Oh, like this fucking like F word this." Oh, it's like Twitch is really strict when it comes to like sexism, homophobia. So like her being like blatantly like sexist towards this chick, and her teammates being sexist as well. Some of them like calling her like the F word. Yeah, like that there. That's super against Twitch TOS. So I have like my Chrome muted on my stream right now because like that's hella against the rules. But like Deller infamously got banned from Twitch. He was a streamer who got banned from Twitch for telling a woman to go make him a sandwich, you stupid bitch. So yeah, Twitch has a very anti-misogyny policy.
I hate. I gotta say that as a woman, it's before it was really easy. Like before, as in a couple of years ago, it was really easy to understand what pick me was. It was like some woman who was blatantly like trying to win favor with men.
Mm-hmm.
But as I've been around like political circles like JSOC and whatnot, I have been accused of being a pick me. Um, but I don't I don't understand how. Um, Mostly because I'm very like dry, super dry humor. Um, I'm not really like on any side as far as men versus women. I tend to be,
Well, you're hell on Pickle and Rick's side when it comes to like Peach, right?
well, here's the
But
problem
and the thing
is
is
that
like
I,
if people only have that context of you, then they're gonna say you're a pick me because that's the only context they have, and that's on them for not wanting to actually like have any other like deeper understanding of you. That's just people being like shallow and making like face
and here's the
evaluations.
problem. Here's the problem. The reason I more so like lean towards men than women is bec it, well,
Cause
I'm
we're
not gonna
right.
it's not no, because you guys are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like I as a woman am able to be like, "Hey, you're a fucking retard male. You're acting like a retard male." But I'm also able to say, "Hey, you're a retard female. You're acting like a retard female." And I feel like I'm supposed to be like one or the other. And whenever I get accused of being a pick me, it's when I don't take the female side. But here's the thing, like I'm a tomboy, like born and bred, like old school tomboy, not what the Zoomers have created tomboys to be.
Well, yeah.
So that and I have a son, an 18-year-old son. And I never want my son to feel like he has to like kowtow to women that treat him like shit. And so the pick me shit is just it's so cringe because there's no real rhyme or reason to it anymore. The real actual like definition of pick me as for women saying to other women has gone to shit. Is this just like drama night tonight?
I don't know. I'm going over this as like my intro into the AJW hit piece on Destiny. But I gotta go over more of
There's
this shit because just I love Call of Duty drama. Ever since I retired from COD, it's just funny watching these dip fucks tear each other apart over a busted console game.
Did you see the anything else episode?
Know what happened?
Apparently Hassan lost his table at the DNC, allegedly kicked out.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I was gonna look into that. They have
Yeah.
footage of that. Hype.
Um, Crispy is someone you're going to want to reach out to because I think he had it downloaded because the quality of the video was so poor. So I don't think it was like live when we were watching it. I think he had it downloaded. So reach out to Crispy.
Hold on, wait. Are they doing anything in there? Is he just?
No, J2 and I were watching Mad Men. J2 is going to lay down, and I just saw that you were in streamable, so I popped in.
Yeah, I got it. You got the Hassan getting kicked from the DNC footage. I can find mirrors of it, but
Like what? What? To it. That's my bad, especially for the women. The other women, I am sorry.
Oh, yikers, McGikers, yeah. That was a really funny. That was just funny. Call of Duty drama. I thought that was hilarious. Get this out of my face. Oh yeah, Andrew Tate grooming a girl. Leaked footage. Oh no.
Read it for me, please, from the top.
Unearthed footage of Andrew Tate grooming an alleged under. Okay, actually, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait. No way. What?
So dead air is happening.
Yeah, dude. I'm actually so ass
find
pissed.
this.
What? Okay. Well, fuck me.
Trying to find something going on.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, read from the top.
Okay, unearthed footage of Andrew Tate grooming an alleged underage girl in July this year. The source who sent this to me said the very young-looking girl remarked that she had lost the fake ID she used to get into clubs, meaning she was under 18, legal drinking age in Romania. The age of consent in Romania is 16. Tate, being a U.S. citizen, is legally bound to the U.S. age of consent when abroad? I don't know about that. The legal age for sex.
That's an easy Google search. Just Google search, are you legally bound by U.S. law when you are abroad?
Well, honestly, if the FBI shows up to my house tomorrow, it's my own fault. Oh my god.
Yep, I guess it is.
Okay, well then poggers McCoggers. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's go Protect Act. The legal age for sex work in Romania is 18, which is the relevant age barrier for the upcoming charges of trafficking minors. Regardless, this is further evidence of both Tate brothers being predators of girl under 18 years old, something both brothers are open about. Fuck, dude. Can I get the chronological again? Please? Oh, literally puts it right here, yes. U.S. law for crimes abroad. Okay. And then that's that footage again. I actually know your dad. Wasn't there like, I swear there was like more to this clip. I swear I couldn't find. Fuck me. I know for a fact I found like more footage.
It was a pretty well-known fact that he had kind of a network of young girls.
That means, like, what the fuck would I read for you? You've got a fit sister who's 16, maybe.
Muslims have the best frame on earth. I want a virgin wife at 16 who's going to obey me. That's what I want.
You know, you said it looks like I'm in a teenage girl's bedroom?
Yeah.
To some people, that would be an insult, but to me, I find that quite flattering, to be honest. You know, like...
I don't remember who said this, but I heard through my other fans of Destiny, and so I think it was Destiny that had stated that Andrew Tate is actually worse than Epstein.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, probably. By like a long shot.
The thing is, though, is they seem to be like the two of them, the two Tate brothers, Andrew Tate and whoever the fuck his brother is. I mean, they haven't hit mainstream news articles, at least for me, because I don't follow left or right-leaning news. I'm an independent, so I haven't seen any mentions of them. So for me, I'm thinking, well, if the
They got
middle
arrested.
media report,
They got arrested last night, or I believe like yesterday, a couple days ago.
oh, they just recently got re-arrested.
Yeah, and then they're now back on house arrest again after being released.
That's the other thing too. When you're put on house arrest, it's like, oh, he's gonna get an easy out.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this video cracked me up when I saw it. This shit was so fucking funny.
Grindr is rocking these days. Fucking on the night. Anyway, hey, we got a 25
This guy's
Actually,
1500 SST.
this guy is such an
and I don't want
Go
to
unapologetic.
get it.
Yeah.
What? Who did it? Okay. Oh yeah, the Acolyte got canceled. Dun dun dun. All right. Here it
Greetings and
is.
salutations, loyal viewers of this channel.
Don't salute me. Don't salute me, Sean. Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. Anyway.
Sure, you want me to use that right now? That sounds pretty dangerous. I love you too.
Dude, more lore on this kid, bro. I love this guy so much. I don't know what he's gonna do next, but it's so funny.
These are for you. I should probably do those with you. You were supposed to teach me everything, you know. Enough of those might have a bouquet. I can't believe you got me flowers. These are for you. Those small, amazing. Thanks for the rose. I don't think
Dude.
that's Huh? How did I get up here? I just climbed up here. I'm Spider-Man. I'm gonna do my own thing.
I will call the cops. I need you to come down right now.
I'm gonna do my own.
I'm gonna do my own thing. What a gamer, dude. This kid just, the lore gets deeper and deeper. Holy. Oh yeah, I saw the arrest footage. Chris Chan. It was pretty it's pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is.
Adolf Rizzler, when Adolf Rizzler captured Pleasant Park. And
Dude, I don't know why the fuck Nick keeps pumping these out. They're so fucking garbage.
What is this bookmark? Oh, bookmarks. We got nothing substantial to
Dude,
watch here.
This is my bookmarks. Yeah, dude. There really isn't shit to go on. This is just like a secret little like chill stream of mine I'm doing, dude. This is pretty funny though. Aiden Ross got pussified by ISO Speed. Got straight bitched out. And then after this, yeah, I'm hell gonna watch this AJW video.
He got it. I don't know how to do that, so you got it. My turn. I'm wrestling. Hold up.
In front of Dana White too. That's like the owner of the UFC. And Aiden Ross gets dropped in front of him. It's pretty sad. It's like sad for Aiden Ross because like he was really into UFC like that, and he's into like sports betting and shit. So this is like a big dream for him to like do some funny shit in front of Dana White, and then he winds up tapping out. Okay, so Mr. AJW, you're gonna explain to me why I should no longer be a Destiny fan. Okay, this came out 2 days ago, 108k views. Ooh. Let me turn down the sound of my game here so I don't get giga distracted. And there we go.
My name is Sean, and today I will be unambiguously defending my own honor because post
Dun,
my
dun, dun.
appearance on the Hippy Dippy stream debate, or you want to call it, a bunch of different lies have been spread about me, specifically that I was going out of my way to intentionally and deliberately lie about District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and enough is enough. I have watched the tapes, I have gone over what was actually said, and I have found the quote that I was thinking of in my brain when I was talking about people targeting President Trump, and I will be presenting that to you as well as many more things throughout the course of this video. On top of that, as a little bit of a bonus, I will show you that by Destiny's own standard, one of the chief operators, one of the chief smear merchants against me, he in fact deliberately lied to me, again by his own standards. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel.
And it's got a sponsor. Oh no, boys. Alright, let me pull up the source. Chrome is kicking. We are rocking. Let's go.
Via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money.
Prominent things that is. We're going to knock out the brag thing first because I think this is one of the most prominent things that has been spread about me. But I do want to give credit to Connor, of all people, somebody who I haven't really gotten along with in the past, for refusing to buy into the idea that I deliberately lied about this.
He's willing to lie blatantly. You agree that he lied about what Alvin Bragg said, right? He lied about that.
When I am making the assertion that somebody is a liar, which I very rarely do, because I think there's all sorts of delusional cope spirals that people put themselves through in order to affirm their presupposed positions. If I go through a lie, then what I have to have is I have to know that they know something and that they are knowingly choose to say something opposite of what they should in normal circumstance know.
Whatever our differences were in the past, I definitely respect you doing so. And by the way, your faith has been rewarded because I have the quotes, I have what was actually said during the debate, and I will demonstrate beyond any shadow of a doubt that I am being smeared in this regard. But let us go to the point brought up by Destiny in the conversation, where he demands that I present a quote about Alvin Bragg. Let's go to that so you guys can see it.
I think everybody
running on I'm gonna find a crime to prosecute them. That's totally fine.
Did Alvin say that? I'm gonna find a crime?
Yeah, he said what was the exact quote? What you call it? Cam, you were talking about it earlier, that he said he was running on seeing Trump in court.
Now you guys need to understand the context of this conversation. I will link it in full in the description of this
let's
video
hear it, bro.
you can
Let's
check
hear
it
it.
out. But this followed me talking about
I did freaking 6 hours worth of watching Destiny argue with AJW today. That's 6 hours worth of contextual prep. So it better be fucking worth it here, Sean.
Trump district attorney running for a state or
part of why my
local
voice is
office
so blown out. I was like, holy
that
shit.
they will dig
Some of the shit I heard
into
today
somebody in order to find a
made me
crime
go
to
aghast.
charge
I was like,
them
huh?
with, or something there's about. This was not a direct quote, but this is what I was saying in that particular segment.
No, I asked you a hypothetical that if this were the case, but they went through the normal legal process, you would be fine with that? That's the standard?
No, because in order to make it comparable, it would have to be like the governor of New York running on trying to...
A local DA that's very pro-Trump, 90% Trump category, finds an official, charges him with the crime that he campaigned on charging him with. They present evidence in front of a grand jury. It's enough for an indictment. Very low standard, by the way. And they secure a conviction. That's like totally legit.
Now, of course, rather than properly engage with the hypothetical, these people decided that they were going to throw out a challenge related to Alvin Bragg. And at this point in time, I want to highlight something that I've been criticized for, which was...
Hold on.
Engage with the...
They present evidence in front of a grand jury. It's enough for an indictment. Very low standard, by the way. And they secure a conviction. That's like totally legit.
Now, of course, rather than properly engage with the hypothetical, these people decided that they were going to throw out a challenge related to Alvin Bragg. And at this point in time, I want to highlight something that I've been criticized for, which was tossing it over to Cam to bring up the exact quote, while I decided that I was going to go out on my own and look for this quote myself.
I think everybody
running on I'm gonna find a crime to prosecute them. That's totally fine.
Did Alvin say that? I'm gonna find a crime?
Yeah, he said what was the exact quote? What you call it? Cam, you were talking about it earlier, that he said he was running on seeing Trump in court.
Oh yeah. He specifically said that he was the person that had the most experience on the ballot with dealing with Trump in court.
Now the reason I did this is because if you rewind the debate to when this came up specifically with Alvin Bragg.
Oh, okay. No. This is... Oh. Sean, my sweet boy. Oh, my sweet boy. This is why I did my 6 hours worth of homework. Sean, my sweet prince. If I were to rewind the debate, no, Jonathan, you have no problem including clips from the debate that are real. Why don't you simply do the rewinding for us? Or is that context? Is that clip perhaps not real? Are you perhaps expecting people to not click the link? Is that what's happening yet again? Is this something that Destiny literally called you out for in the Twitter space? This is also something that he called you out for in that debate that you had in that college campus where he literally faked you out because you weren't expecting him to actually look that up. It was a really, really viral clip, my dude. Now, Jonathan, I'm not accusing you of being bad faith. I'm saying you are. It's different, okay? I don't want there to be any implications. I'm directly saying it.
Cool. I'll answer the question too. Yeah. So I don't think it's a threat to democracy. I think it's a bad and corrupt thing to do, but I don't think it's a threat to democracy. Democracy will not cease to exist if you vote for Alvin Bragg, who explicitly campaigned on going to court with Donald Trump, and also Hutch.
Okay, that should
happen.
happen.
That Sean said almost the exact same thing, and then you attacked him as if he said the inverse. Again, strawmanning him, which seems to be your primary tactic throughout the entire debate.
The person who said he had the quote from District Attorney Alvin Bragg is in fact Cam.
So you are accusing the Biden DOJ of political prosecution, right?
Well, let me finish my point. So he says he should have went after him as soon as he got out of office. You had the special counsel bring charges on the
Honestly, this
classified
should have been an
documents
easy point to own.
case, but it would have been probably less political to go after him early when you weren't sure he was going to run rather than later. But it seems like they went after him and they put all these cases on the ballot. And again, most of it is not federal officials or the special counsel. It's local politicians that ran specifically on prosecuting Trump. And remember, normally you have to have evidence of a crime before you start an investigation, not as a campaign promise,
he pushed
run
it.
on finding a crime to charge somebody with.
So right here I'm talking about a prosecutor looking into somebody in order to find evidence of a crime, rather than you having probable cause to start an investigation, which is the normal operating procedures that a prosecutor would go through in order to find evidence of the crime. I also, in this hypothetical, am talking about somebody announcing their intentions. This is something that I mentioned, and by the way, this is clearly and obviously understood because Hutch ends up responding at some point shortly after this.
He had been criminally charged and convicted on these crimes. So it's not like there was some fishing expedition.
That this is not a fishing expedition. But what I'm actually referring to exactly describes a fishing expedition. Let me play you the clip.
I will be shining a bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings. And every dealing demanding truthfulness at every turn.
So right there, and it's dated November 7th of 2018, prior to Letitia James taking office as the Attorney General, she is pledging to a crowd that she will shine a bright light, not just into Trump's real estate dealings, which you might be able to argue in some way, shape, or form there was a case in the news that she might be referring to, but all of his dealings, and she says she's going to demand truthfulness at every turn. This is a fishing expedition. When you are telling people you're going to look into
Oh no.
to somebody in order to find evidence of a crime, and again, she was the public advocate for New York City before this. She was not an assistant attorney general or anything like that. She is promising to go on a fishing expedition. This is exactly what I was referring to in this particular moment right here. And again, it got conflated with Bragg. Maybe worst case scenario, you say I misattributed this to Alvin Bragg, but in no way, shape, or form did I go out of my way to make something up out of thin air in order to tie down Alvin Bragg and besmirch his good name, which, to be clear, he does not have a good name. In fact, the
Oh my goodness, gravy. Okay, I mean, like, we've been wrong before. All right, okay. Good on you for at least correcting the record, my bad. Does this like hold in like the argument? Does this hold as like an argument in the debate? I don't really think it would still like stand all that much because I think Destiny still wound up engaging with that as a hypothetical. This is just like stamping our feet because we lost Hippy Dippy. And we looked a little silly, and we just didn't want to. I don't know why. Like, to me it feels like these are just easy things to own. It's just like, oh yeah, I made a mistake, right? But the reason why I feel like Destiny calls them malicious is because it's just like a no. You see, like it wasn't. I didn't do that. It was actually like. When it's just so easy, you just own the L and just move on with your day.
Who attributed this to Alvin Bragg was Cam, not me, and he was referring to a different quote, and you have to remember...
Like when I got it wrong, like a couple minutes ago, when I was like, oh, surely he's not going to include that clip, because it's not like really the most like smooth clip. because it's again a misquote. But then he actually does include it, and I was like, oh damn, I was wrong. Look at that. I took the L and I moved on. I didn't make a fucking 30-minute video about how much Sean here actually sucks big dick.
This election was actually occurring in 2020 because Bragg was sworn in 2021, where he was arguing on the campaign that he would be the best person to take up an already existing case against Trump, and he was citing his other lawsuits against Trump as qualifications, which is still questionable behavior, but it is nowhere near at the level of what I was talking about in the hypothetical, which again was attributed to Letitia James. So for Steven, who's been calling me a liar, who's like, oh, well, he made up this specific and all that, I want to know how you're going to justify that claim right now, because I was obviously referring to something very specific and very real. It happened to be a different New York prosecutor. Now, maybe you could call this me misattributing something that Letitia James said to District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
That
But
is-
again, the
that is
person
what
who
happened.
brought up a
That's
specific
okay, though.
quote in this conversation about going after Trump was Cam, not me.
Correct. And the
Okay. So there you go. All right, there you go. That's there. You can just say, yeah, I got the quote wrong, but it wasn't even me who brought up the quote. There you go.
Yes, in the other quote, he
Okay.
said, obviously, like evidence, he gave the caveats. He wasn't as bad as Letitia James, and there's no.
Hold on, to
quote
be clear, for
that's
Letitia,
anywhere
you also
near as
couldn't
bad.
cite anything that Letitia said that was bad. Also, the idea of a guy.
No, hold on, Steven. I do have the clips of Letitia where she said to a voter on the street that you should vote for her because she's going to sue Trump.
Now, by the way, this isn't the only time Letitia James did this. When she was approached by somebody
Wait,
asking
but how
her
would she
about
sue-
the value of voting, she
Oh, no. Do I gotta do this? Do I gotta... Does he... Okay, here. Peace goes Twitter space. Holy shit, holy. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Oh my Christ almighty. Oh, fuck my mouth, dude. Do I really...
Vote for her because she's going to sue Trump.
I kind of remember where this was in this video. Oh my goodness, gravy. This is actually kind of annoying. Like, a lot of bit.
So why would they think old cases matter? No. It's not about. Has there ever?
Fuck's sake. What stance is he taking here in this clip?
Evidence. He gave the caveats. He wasn't as bad as Letitia James, and there's no.
Hold on, to be
quote
clear, for
that's
Letitia,
anywhere
you also
near as
couldn't
bad.
cite anything that Letitia said that was bad. Also, the idea.
The 3-finger into the freaking... Okay. So I got 3-finger into Neo. Oh, wait.
Directly elected, actually half of a branch, because we.
The Republic is checked as well, right? By the veto power.
Okay, damn. He does the fucking Neo a lot. Jesus Christ.
And a Republic can mean a whole bunch. But the problem is every single time.
Fuck my mouth.
Saying is that if Donald Trump were to come and be a.
But I think, and I'll tell you what I think.
It's actually an unwinnable matchup. I'm not going through this entire fucking video again. But I know for a fact that he engaged with us.
Exact wording of the prompt should be communicated.
No, this is not.
To you now, just so you know, I'm not full of shit.
God. That.
The Confederates are bringing up because Bragg made some statement approximating, I'm going to go after Trump.
Dantic, it's not stupid. He's not being obtuse. He's being malicious. But they can always pivot and do some argument to be had here. There's not a back and forth to be had here.
Destiny.
Oh my goodness.
Really? Right? In what world, right, where I'm talking to my son, I'm like, obviously you're lying to me. Would you
And be like, oh, sorry, Bragg.
We'll left us in a long time. The material circumstances of that person.
not be telling me this?
The question about whether or not AJW was lying.
Could you please include timestamps next time, bud?
I don't believe it. I just.
Moral
Make it-
fiber. Like, being an asshole or being rude or being a jerk is one thing, but people is like, oh my god, like, we all watched him murder this guy, and the other four are like, well, Alvin Bragg's like 100%, yes!
Number one,
Okay,
Destiny,
calm
you
down,
ran
Schultz.
for hours at a fucking time and nobody gives a shit. Shut the up with other people taking.
And there was a
Holy
different
moly.
theory of the.
Dude, it's like... I just want to find this thing. I just want to find that thing. Shouldn't be this hard. Oh my gosh. YouTube, please. Oh wait, no.
Do you think that the Supreme Court justice is that undemocratic because nobody votes for them?
Oh my gosh, is this an unwinnable matchup? Possibly.
And then they hear Democrat and democracy, and they're like, we're not a
Okay, well now he's out of the Twitch. Fuck my life. Holy shit, dude. Actually, there's no universe. I feel like there's no universe in which I'm gonna be able to find this. It's the background? Oh my god. Maybe with the background. I'm so ass pissed right now. No way, what? Did I get lied to by the scrub buffer? Oh my gosh, it's unwinnable.
The Confederates are bringing up because he won the multiple times. And are we so we
Holy.
It's intentional and malicious. Dancing and semantic and stupid. It's intentional.
Oh my gosh, dude. I don't think. Oh my god. Dude, I fucking hate this guy so much, bro. Because I literally know that, like, Destiny said some shit afterwards, literally engaging with this fact. And I'm just like, I don't know why. Why, bro? It's actually so tilting. Let me find this stupid shit one more fucking time. It's so frustrating. Destiny stream making it moralized, blah blah blah.
Can you show me these DMs?
Okay, yeah, dude. Let me fucking. You fucking punk fuck. Can you please tell me you at least include timestamps? Maybe in your description? Holy fuck me in my mouth. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh. I'm gonna find this shit. It's actually pissing me off so much. My Christ. My goodness grief. Dude. I'm not in a good mood now. Okay, it's gotta be somewhere around here, right? Yeah, it has to be somewhere the fuck around here. So now I'm looking for the rock climbing background. Man, dude. Fact I have to do everyone else's motherfucking homework so goddamn hard. Oh, it actually blows my entire asshole out.
Wait. So okay, so just be Cyrus and
prosecute Trump for crimes.
No. He explicitly said, "I'm
prosecute." And I understand that Bragg ran that he would be the best person to pick up the case and prosecute Trump for crimes.
No. He explicitly said, "I'm not going to prejudge the case." You acknowledge that, correct?
Yeah, and yes, there's no.
Hold on, to be clear, for Letitia, you also couldn't cite anything that Letitia said.
Okay, there we go. Finally found it.
The idea of a guy.
No, hold on. I do have the clips of Letitia where she said
Autism Squad strikes again.
That you should vote for her because she's going to sue Trump. Like, she specifically asked that.
Wait, and she says, vote for me because I'm going to sue Trump as a DA? She's going to sue him in civil court, or what?
When she was running for Attorney General in 2018, yes. On the street, she's asked about why it's important to vote and what you would say to people who, like, say it doesn't matter. And she said, and then she asked if she was going to sue Trump, and Letitia James said yes. Like, that's why it matters. Why
does this matter? Why are we talking about Letitia James?
Well,
the question is, did you lie? Did you lie about Alvin Bragg? That is the question. Your attempt.
So there was.
Yeah, the guy.
No, hold on, Steven. I do have the clips of Letitia where she said.
Holy, that was actually gonna make my brain explode in a million pieces if I didn't get the full engagement with that.
This isn't the only time Letitia James did this. When she was approached by somebody asking her about the value of voting, she ended up responding to this person in this way.
And what would you say to people who say, oh, I'm not going to bother to register to vote because my voice doesn't make a difference, or I'm just one person.
I say one name. Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Get off your ass and vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're gonna definitely sue him. We're gonna be a real pain in the ass. He's gonna know my name personally.
I love it. He probably does already.
Again, there's Letitia James saying vote for her because Donald Trump, and when asked if she will sue Donald Trump, she's not saying we'll use all the afforded legal avenues in order to challenge anything that he's doing that's breaking the law. She says, yes, I'm going to sue him. Campaign promise.
Wait, that's not a... That's not a campaign promise. It's not like something that she's like running on, where she's like putting it on her ticket or like on her like ads and shit. Oh my goodness gravy, no. Oh no. Oh no. This is what I'm talking about. This is a malicious reframing of an interaction. What in the motherfucker? This is the smoking gun.
To be clear, for Letitia,
this was
you
the
also
smoking
couldn't say
gun.
Anything that Letitia said that was bad.
It's really critically important that everyone understand, as was mentioned by Mr. Bahara, that filing a lawsuit, simply opening up an investigation, can ruin lives. And so with respect to Donald Trump, we need to follow his money. We need to find out where he's laundered money. We need to find out whether or not he's engaged in conspiracy and whether or not he's colluded not only with Putin, but also with China as well.
Now again, you have Letitia James during the actual debate of the election in September of 2018 saying that she's going to follow Trump's money in order to see if he's money laundering and whatnot. And this is a fishing expedition because, once again, she doesn't have evidence for a crime. She's promising that she's going to just look into all his transactions in order to find money laundering, but there's nothing right now that says that she's continuing an investigation or anything that they said as defenses of Alvin.
This is the most insane pivot of all time. I don't know why the hell he is actually making this video. I legitimately don't understand. Because, like, the debate's over. He already lost. He admitted that he got the quote wrong. He won't seem to admit that to Destiny or some shit. I don't know. But this is not him. He could have brought this up in the debate, right? And maybe he could have had like some sort of substantive argument about whether or not this was like an undemocratic like thing to do, yada. But the thing is that like that they already established in that like Twitter space that Sean doesn't actually think that like America really has real democracy anyway, so there's no way that Trump can even be a threat to it to begin with. So naturally, an extension of that would mean that, like, Letitia also wouldn't be a threat to democracy either with what she's doing, right? So I really don't see the point of this 38-minute video. If this is the point, then this isn't...
brag because she's just promising a fishing expedition. Look, I take accusations of me deliberately lying to people out there in the audience, to my audience, very seriously. Long-term viewers of this channel know that I will go out of my way to correct mistakes, errors that I've made on this channel with whole separate videos included in the beginning of next videos, and do anything and everything to remind you of when I am in fact wrong. In fact, even in this stream, because I believed that Cam had the goods, when I couldn't find this Alvin Bragg quote, I said, you know what? I could be mistaken. I could be wrong. But Steven, of course, had to rage out like an absolute lunatic and say that I'm lying and then continue the lie past that point. And that's when I have to address it.
For this. Now, as far as the specific quote that Destiny is asking for, it does not exist. He gave caveats. He's smarter than what you go. He's smarter than I gave him credit for in my paraphrase. So if you want to take that, that's fine.
So to be 100% clear, there is no way, shape, or form that you could say me referencing Letitia James without remembering that I'm referencing Letitia James specifically in a hypothetical is somehow me lying deliberately about District Attorney Alvin Bragg. That is just not the case. Now, I do believe, and I have presented evidence for the fact that Alvin Bragg did charge Trump for political reasons. As I said, that Bragg, who has downgraded
Whoa, what was that
over
insane
half of felony
cut?
charges, and by the way, this doesn't even count the
What the
dismissals
fuck?
in the cases that he just refuses to charge people, somehow found a way to upgrade the charges against Trump, again, for political reasons, so that he can say, look, he's a convicted felon based on me going outside of my pattern of behavior and upgrading charges because specifically he was talking about a political opponent named Donald J. Trump. Now, the next lie by Destiny that I want to address that he is deliberately spreading, let's be clear about that, is the idea that I misinterpreted it, deliberately so, the prompt is democracy on the ballot. Now, I did not misinterpret that prompt at all. There
You
was
very
no
much seem to have,
interpretation
yeah.
from me at all because I never received that prompt. I was messaged by Connor to debate up or down whether or not Trump would end democracy if elected. This is what I was offered as a debate. You can see it in plain text, and this.
Do you want to be partners as long as I get to on another Democrat, but whether or not Trump is... What do you mean, dude? You were given that prompt. You were given that prompt, like, a couple weeks in advance, bro. What do you mean? It says it right there. Brother. Brother.
Is, by the way, what I agreed to actually debate.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
I sent Lauren and Sean, and I could look up the message to Lauren.
I'm gonna send it to you.
But I sent the equivalent of will Donald Trump end democracy in 2024 or something like that, right? So that's an extrapolation. It's a little bit hyperbolic, etc. But of course, when you're recruiting somebody, you want to give them the most fiery version of the debate, right? And so Lauren says, what is the exact wording of the prompt? And I did send that to Lauren.
Wait, send what?
Lauren,
Can you show me these DMs somewhere?
Sure.
I just sent you one of them. This is the one that was sent to AJW.
Hold on, yeah, this is not. There's nothing wrong with this though. So there must be something more.
But hold on. No, what I sent to AJW?
No, Pisco just linked me a tweet where it's you saying, "Do you want to be debate partners with Lauren Southern against Destiny and another Democrat about whether or not Trump will end democracy if elected?"
Yes, that was my extrapolation.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yep.
Now, one of the things that annoys me about this
Yeah.
is that since I provided the screenshot, which, by the way, was demanded by Pisco, there should be no more conversation about this. This is what I was given. This is what I accepted. I would not have accepted the debate had the topic been, we're just going to argue randomly that something may damage an institution. It was an up or down question, and that's what I prepared for.
No.
There should be no argument against this because obviously this is what I was presented and what I agreed to. But instead, I get all these different ridiculous points, like from Pisco in his Twitter space, where he tries to make the case that it would have been interesting for me to bring up whether or not Kamala Harris would destroy democracy.
The one thing I wanted to bring up was, we're talking about, I want to kind of go back a little bit. So the whole is democracy on the ballot. First of all, this became the topic of the debate instead of, the topic of the debate became the debate, right? One of the things I had an issue with is that you could assume pretty obviously from that Trump was the one that this was being discussed about. I think that's pretty obvious. But, even if it weren't, you could even assume because of the rhetoric that has been going out there already about Kamala and being a communist and things like that, you could even assume in that end that it could go the way of Kamala.
Yeah.
But obviously the more obvious one is Trump. And I think it was really interesting when we looked at how actual Justice Warrior was going about all this. It was really interesting. He didn't understand the debate, but yet he kept, even when called out on it, continued to debate from the perspective as if the topic was, is democracy going to be ended?
Yeah.
Even when called out about it, he continued. It was not up until Lauren Southern came in, and I could be mistaken on this, but until Lauren Southern came in, that this entire 30 minutes of discussing what it was, that he actually speak up and go, oh yeah, this is the issue. So
it's a really good point. I want to address first the Kamala thing. So that would have been a very interesting way.
Oh my goodness.
Like if he actually argued that yes, democracy on the ballot because either A, Kamala Harris is going to institute these communist policies or policies that are against our constitutional system, then insert thing Or you could take the route that, well, Kamala was appointed in anti-democratic way. I disagree with this, but that's an angle you could have taken.
Sure.
So I think that's a really interesting perspective that like the question by its terms was not candidate specific.
Now, this was very annoying because based on the prompt that I got, my interpretation of it was that it was about Donald Trump. And the reason
There
why
was no
is because
interpretation,
the
but my
prompt is
interpretation
whether or
was-
not Donald Trump will end democracy if elected. So it would not have been a good argument if that was the question, up or down, to say, well, Kamala Harris would end democracy as well. That's not a good counterpoint. So I didn't prepare that specific argument because, again, that wasn't the prompt. Mine was exclusively about Donald Trump. So I came in ready to argue exclusively about Donald Trump. And by the way, Lauren ended up asking for clarification of this. So when we spoke a day prior and I said, this is the topic as presented to me, and she says, yeah, I even clarified it with Connor, I had no reason to believe that the conversation would be something completely different. Now, another lie that spawns from this is the fact that I somehow, in bad faith, never made this point about the prompt being different or about them trying to argue a different standard than what I agreed to until over an hour in when Lauren Southern joined the conversation. And this
Because
is
you were super
100%
confused about it
false.
the
In
entire
my opening
time.
statement, I laid out a standard that they were going to have to prove that the evil orange man would end democracy, as in the American government.
They're going to have to explain exactly why the mechanisms of our government are going to be overthrown if presumably Trump gets elected. The fact of the matter is, our government is the longest consistent government currently going in world history at this moment in time. We have been through a bunch of different controversial elections. We have been through a Trump presidency already. So these guys are going to have to explain what would be different about Trump winning in 2024 that was different from him winning in 2016.
Around the 14
I don't think he's gonna play the clip where it's but when he says like he has to disrupt the government, he means like a total complete like collapsing of the democratic government like as a whole, and basically converting it into like a strict monarchy. But even then, it would still be really fuzzy if democracy has actually been ended by then, because you said that Britain's parliament system is democratic.
Tried to put out what I consider to be a Weasley standard because, again, I was informed that the topic would be up or down. Trump is going to end the system if elected. I called this out.
But again, your argument seems to be that our institutions are strong enough to withstand someone like Trump. But my question is, how do you justify allowing someone to come in and check those institutions and actually stress them and see how far these checks and balances actually go to constrain him?
Well, first of all, prior to your question, you were like, well, I'm not saying democracy is going to end. I'm just saying it's going to be chipped away. So you got to kind of commit to your argument, because if you're saying it's not going to end, then you kind of agree with me in that regard, that the institutions are well suited to hold up to whatever challenges, real or imagined, that Trump will bring up. So it seems a little weaselly for you to back off of the premise of
This
the
is so
debate by saying
stupid.
like, oh, well, he might chip away at our institutions. I mean, you could argue that prosecuting your political opponent is chipping away at our institutions. You could argue that using new interpretations or setting up test cases in order to set up for a future prosecution.
I wish they had used the the brick of cheese argument, because this is the one that I use sometimes. But like Joe, like when you're grating some cheese, take a cheese and you grind it against the cheese grater.
Yeah.
And there's still like some cheese left in your hand once you're done using the cheese grater. You're like, oh damn, look, like I still have all this cheese, right? But then like eventually, after you do that enough, right, you go like, oh fuck, I'm running low on cheese, and eventually you run out of cheese, right? It's kind of like this. That's kind of like the same thing. They're analogizing with democracy. Is basically Trump is the cheese grater, right? And democracy is the cheese. Is what they're arguing, is that Trump will slowly be chipping away at democracy until there's none of it left, right? And AJW's argument is that, well, that's impossible. Either it has to go from like there being democracy one day to there being like no democracy the next day, or you have to concede the argument, which is just like completely impossible, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. Trump is a baguette.
Well, that is. It's like, yeah.
Execution against a former president is a chip at our institutions and at the norms that we're typically used to in the United States of America. You know, the things that ultimately ended up leading to that immunity decision from the Supreme Court. That's not really the end of democracy. I don't think that our system was destroyed over the last 4 years under the Biden administration. So, like, I think you got to either commit, like Steven actually is, to some kind of crazy plot that Trump's going to overthrow our entire system of government or not.
In fact, over and over again, well before Lauren showed up, I pointed out that they were going off the topic, and the reason I believe that is because I was presented a completely different topic. I agreed to that different topic based on those parameters, and that's what I prepared for / expected to debate. So when they started saying, oh, a threat to democracy and blah, 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 and all that, I took that as nonsense throughout the whole course of the debate. I challenged them to commit to the broader premise that I was presented, and now they're pretending like I just brought it up when Lauren got there, when that's just not the case. So all this talk about how, oh, well, it doesn't mean when you say if the Second Amendment is on the ballot or abortion is on the ballot that it's going to go away or be completely wiped out or whatever is completely irrelevant, because I was never presented this on the ballot question. I was presented, again, in plain English, up or down, whether or not Trump would end up if elected. Now that, of course, leads into the next lie, deliberately being pushed by Steven against me, despite the fact that it is completely and utter nonsense on its face. And this is the idea that, oh, the reason I argued the way that I argued is because I believe America's not a democracy, it's a republic. Now, to be clear, I do believe that, but I never made that point at all whatsoever.
Now, to be clear, I do believe that. Oh, so again, right? That was the whole argument. The whole argument is conceded, right? The whole argument is moot, right? How can Trump threaten democracy? There is no democracy. We're a republic. Oh my God, what do you mean? Duh. Oh no. Oh no. That's really funny. That's really funny. That makes it extra funny too, because like, why? So then he links the Destiny video, where like that's how like Destiny ends it, right? He's like, oh, you know, like Destiny's stream making up more lies. I mean, I guess thanks for the plug, right? I'm sure August was pogging out over that. That's funny as fuck, dude. No way.
During the Hippy Dippy live stream, and the reason I never made that point is because I understood, for the context of this conversation, that distinction made no difference.
No, I hear you. There's an interesting question about what democracy means. Recall, of course, by the way, that actual Justice Warrior, his whole position is we don't actually have a democracy. And so for his merit, there can be no threat to a democracy in America, because he said multiple times, we do not live in a democracy. So if we're going by that definition of democracy, I don't think actual Justice Warriors would raise the kind of concerns the Confederates are bringing up, because he wouldn't, of course, not agree. He would say, well, you guys are stupid. There is no democracy. We live in a republic, or whatever his phrasing is. On the actual merits of
which I find to be silly and pedantic and semantic.
Yeah, it's stupid, but the question is like...
It's not silly. Oh, it's not silly and pedantic and semantic and stupid. It's intentional. It's intentional and malicious. It's intentional and malicious.
So when Pisco just makes up out of thin air that that's literally my whole argument, and then Destiny, who is watching live, listening, says, oh, it's not that he actually believes that, he's being malicious about it, thus affirming the inaccurate assessment of my position, that is objectively a lie. And if you want to prove that it's not a lie, show me exactly where I said that on the Hippy Dippy live stream. And the crazy thing is, not having this context, I end up going on the Twitter space. Destiny asked me, is America a democracy? I say, is it a republic? And he starts making all these snide, ridiculous comments about, oh, I understand this and that.
I understand, okay? I concede all of the debate from last night.
Why would he include this?
Because we don't have a democracy. I understand now.
Oh,
and again,
no.
I don't have any context for the fact at this moment in time that he's been lying about my argument for a full hour beforehand. And by the way, Pisco is buying into that lies. And in fact, after Destiny raged out of that Twitter space, I ended up saying, yeah, Pisco, while I do believe that, for the purposes of the conversation yesterday, I didn't make that argument because I understood in general we're talking about the American electoral system. So in that context, I was going to fight on that point, because what's the point of fighting on that when you all, in the context of that conversation, get when you're talking about democracy, you're talking about the United States governing system.
It sounds like you're acknowledging that there are different definitions of democracy that you're working with. If you're saying that in the context of the debate I prepared with, I'm using a different definition of democracy.
Please go.
Yeah.
Don't be retarded. In the
Oh
conversation,
my god, dude, yeah.
we were asked if Trump
Insulting
would end
is definitely the way to go.
So
Poggers
I interpreted
McPoggers,
that
dude.
as we're calling America a democracy, like our current governing system and how we choose our representatives and all that. For that
I think that's fair.
conversation, if you asked me, is America a democracy or a republic, I would opt for the America as a republic, which is completely different. Now, I didn't once do the little thing where I was like, technically America's not a democracy throughout the whole debate, because that would have been pointless and wouldn't have gotten us anywhere. What I did do was try to argue what we actually agreed on, or what I was actually invited to debate, which apparently I'm supposed to psychically like understand that it's actually something different. Somehow.
Sean, so first of all, I totally appreciate you making those clarification points, because I wasn't sure. Because in terms of the first part of what you said, and I'll get to the second part. The first part you're saying is like, of course, when I come into the debate, I'm using democracy in the sense of the American constitutional system. I'm not using this more narrow version of democracy, which I wouldn't apply in more general terms to America.
Now again, if you have any evidence that I made this claim during the Hippy Dippy live stream, present that evidence. Show that evidence. If you have any evidence that I was presented the actual topic and that I would have agreed to the actual topic, which is vague, oh, is this a threat? Is this potentially bad or that? Then present that. Tell me how, in my mind, on my honeymoon, when I got this request and I agreed to this based on these terms, I actually psychically knew that they were presenting something completely different to the other side. I want that presented to me. And by the way, as late as the community tab, where I posted the link to this live stream, I was still using the same language that was originally presented to me. Right here on the community tab, I will be live at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, debating whether Trump will end democracy with Destiny and others. So just to recap, it is 100% unreasonable, as in a standard that no other person would be expected to be held to receive this message from Connor, which says up or down, will Trump end democracy if elected, for me to assume that the topic is completely different than what was being presented to me by the person who recruited me onto the show. Connor has acknowledged that this was his error, his mistake. I don't think there was anything malicious about it. I know a lot of people in my audience are saying that it's a setup, but the fact of the matter is, they're expecting me to be able to argue something completely different that I probably wouldn't have even agreed to in the first place based on this prompt, and then claiming the extra step that I'm going out of my way to bad faith interpret a prompt that was never presented to me, and again, I would not have agreed to. If Stephen Pisco, Hutch, any single lefty were put in the same position I was put in, were offered to and agreed to terms that I agreed to, and then things were completely different by the time that they showed up to the conversation, then I would not blame them for somehow receiving the different terms and agreeing to them. On top of that, throughout the whole course of the conversation, because again, this was the premise that was presented to me, I was like, fine, we can move on from this if you would just concede this point, and Destiny refused to do so.
It's so what Alien intended when he wrote the question. Just concede that that you do not know that Trump is going to be a dictator, and let's move on.
If somebody says that immigration is on the ballot, does that mean that you...
So for Stephen to assert that it's absolutely crazy for me to interpret...
Oh no. And then he cuts it off again. Why does he do that?
Ballot, again, something that I never received, never interpreted to mean whether or not...
I don't think he ever actually answered that question either. Yeah, so like when immigration is on the ballot, does that mean like complete and total open borders or no immigration at all whatsoever?
If elected in 2024, which is exactly what I did receive, and then also refused to concede that point to move on to another part of the conversation, is intentionally bad faith, and by the way, completely
intentionally
stupid.
Bad
It's
faith
ridiculous
is
that he's making these two arguments out of both sides of his...
What they're saying is that if Donald Trump were to come and be a dictator
He's
for
gonna
1
come
year,
all right.
and then he were to be ousted from office, and then people would, repair everything, and then we set ourselves back on the right course, they would say like, oh, then it wasn't a threat, I guess. That's what they're. That's an.
Yeah, that's silly.
But hold on, wait. Shit. Do you acknowledge? You just said that's silly. You acknowledge that was their position.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Wait. Why are you saying okay or sure? No. Yes. That was their position. Yes.
I'm about to use the N-word again, Pete.
That's fine. I don't care. I love the N-word.
Now, another lie from Steven is that I made the claim or made the argument that if Trump became a dictator for 1 year, then that would be perfectly fine as long as things went back to normal. In fact, I made the exact opposite argument, and this stems from him asking me if Hitler is a threat to democracy, in which I responded after being cut off a million times with the distinction from an election like the Hayes election, which was very wonky in how it happened, super questionable, resulted in the Hayes Compromise, which is a stain on American history, and of course, somebody actually overthrowing the system.
So it took a regime fall for democracy to return to Germany, and several decades of Western occupation in Germany for that democracy to be restored to Germany. Okay, so that's not what happened in the Rutherford B. Hayes case that Sean cited earlier, where this exact thing that you're claiming will overthrow democracy happened, and it resulted in democracy continuing on to today. Clearly, you agree that democracy exists today. Otherwise, you wouldn't be arguing that it's on the ballot.
Democracy in Germany exists today. You just proved Destiny's point. The idea that democracy is only threatened if it's permanently ended is stupid. Now you're moving the goalpost again. No,
We're saying that it will happen without a regime.
If there's a decade.
Hey guys, editing Sean here, and I just realized that the reason why Destiny is misstating my position right here is because in order to perform for his audience,
Dude, he doesn't even engage with that point. Oh my god, what a bitch baby boy, dude. Oh my god.
started playing piano, which I'm sure you can hear on his stream or his version of the stream if that even exists.
No. Oh no, piano.exe is about to get launched. Oh no, not the piano. Nah, dude, the piano is just always catching strays for no reason, bro. That poor keyboard, bro. That poor Yamaha keyboard is catching all the strays for no fucking reason. Oh, poor bastard. Poor keyboard, it did nothing wrong.
In a bad faith way, ignored the answer to his question, and then ascribed...
Oh no, yeah, call it. Yeah, the piano's catching strays yet again. Oh no.
Position to me and my panelists
feels piano, man.
Refutation for. Also, this guy right here in the corner, he shows up at some point when Lauren does. He adds nothing of any intellectual value to the whole conversation. Just throwing that out there.
If there's a decades-long gap in between democracy and dictatorship, that's something else.
Yeah. All right. So do you think that there's a meaningful difference? I'm just going to ask you of having external governments overthrow your dictatorship and then install a democratic government in half your country, by the way, because the Soviet Union took over the other half, or at least whatever. They split the country, but. Do you think there's a meaningful difference between that and then an election that's like contested, that has this stupid electors thing, and then a corrupt compromise that's one of the stains on American history, but then the next election functions as normal? Do you understand that there's a difference?
Okay, I understand there's a difference, so there's no...
Now, the distinction that I make should be obvious, but I guess I'll explain it between the Hayes election or Bush v. Gore or any questionable election in American history, which is whether or not, despite the questionable nature of said election, the system functions as normal. This is obviously not applicable if somebody is a dictator for any period of time, so no, this would not be comparable to saying that if Trump was a dictator, like acted as a dictator for a full year, then this would somehow not qualify as ending democracy. There is no interpretation of what I said in response to the Hayes versus Hitler question that could be read that way, yet Steven goes on and presents this as if it is actually my legitimate argument that I put forward. It is obviously not true. This is obviously yet another lie from Steven, but let's move on to another one.
Do you agree that the Civil War wasn't a threat to democracy? Because that was in another country, right?
Is the Civil War? That's actually an interesting question.
No, it's not. They weren't another country. They weren't. They didn't have the legal right to secede just because you say you do. Doesn't mean you do.
Democracy, if these people like wanted to secede, and then like they ended up going to war with the other half of the country.
Nope.
Like, I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
another country. You defined it as external country,
Right, whatever,
external
like,
occupation.
a conflict from within the country about whether or not you could break apart. Like, is that, like that's actually an interesting question.
No, it's not. Hold on. No, it's very easy to solve. We came back immediately after.
So Steven got really mad right here that I said it was an interesting question whether or not the Civil War counts as a threat to democracy, as in ending our current system of government. But the fact of the matter is, I thought it was an interesting question. This was a compliment to him because it was something that I did not consider in the context of the framework that I was describing. Now, the reason I thought this was an interesting question is because the southern states wanted to leave the Union and form their own new confederacy. By contrast, the Union government could have maintained power without the southern states. So the question is a reduction in the size of the Union an inherent threat to the Union? Could the system not function without those southern states? And again, this is still an interesting question. Now, what I was also thinking about...
Bro. That just proves his point, though. Dog, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's only 4 more minutes left. It's only 4 more minutes. I can power through it. I got this. I got this. I'm a gamer.
And if I would consider that a threat to democracy, if those people
I
were
got
willing to
fucking
do so.
ripped
So of
off,
course
Joe.
we had
Oh, no.
referendums on leaving the Soviet Union. Now the Soviet Union was an authoritarian government, so you might say that's different.
I got
But
ripped
we
off
also
hard.
have the Catalonian people trying to leave Spain. And yes, while it is objectively
That's just a reduction.
threat
Yeah,
to
no, this
Spain
guy is
if
not.
they were to leave, does that mean it's undemocratic for them to do so, and it would ruin the democracy in Spain if they were allowed to do so? I also brought up again on Twitter
amethyst
the example of the Irish trying to separate, which ultimately they ended up doing. And the reason I brought up these 3 examples on Twitter, and would have brought up these 3 examples had I actually been able to speak without Destiny raging out like an insane maniac, is because they are 3 different sets of facts, all based on the premise of leaving your larger governing structure, and one of them was actually successful. By the way, the Irish one actually involved violence in the process and probably was a huge threat, and I would have been curious to work through these examples as an intellectual exercise to understand exactly what is intended by the Civil War example. On top of that, in order to secure the victory of the Civil War, the Union occupied the South, denied people that likely would have been elected from being able to hold political office in order to make sure the Union was maintained. This is a change in the way that the constitutional order operated previous to then. It was something that lasted for about 12 years until the Hague's Compromise. Now, for me, somebody who is a Northerner who holds absolutely zero sympathies for the Confederacy, I was also wondering if this would be technically violative of the standards that Stephen and Hutch put out, because while I think it's justified to repress the Southern democracy post them declaring a civil war on you, which again was the deadliest war in American history, the fact that
He actually talks really well with his own dick in his mouth. I mean,
this involved them
damn,
overriding their
okay,
norms,
well,
using
shit.
the military to do so, and repressing their ability to have even local democracy to a certain extent. So yeah, that's what I was considering. That's why I thought the question was interesting. Little did I expect debate bro Steven, who's always interested in these intellectual
What do you mean debate, bro? Steve? It was literally debate panel.
exercises, to have a meltdown, throw a hissy fit, and rage out about it for days after the fact, when it was not even me saying no, it was not something that wasn't a threat to the United States of America, but it was just an interesting question that I wanted a little bit more time to think about. Apparently you can't do that. Steven can have all the thought exercises that he wants, because again, completely different standard for him than for anybody else. But for me, I'm a horrible bad person for even thinking about the implications of the question rather than giving a knee-jerk, non-well thought out answer. Because, you know, in a debate, in a conversation, you're not actually trying to have a conversation. You're expected to just knee-jerk respond to everything like that, and then that's it, because that's what the people are looking for. No, that's not how I work. That's not how I think. Maybe
saying
that's
someone's emotional is a great way to be dismissive. It is a pretty good way to be
I don't even believe
dismissive.
that to be the case. This is just another way for him to turn around and try to smear me, which I've proven throughout the course of this video is exactly what he intentionally and deliberately did. Now look, as of right now, I don't remember any other additional lies that are being spread about me from this particular conversation, so I'm deciding that I'm gonna leave it here. As per usual, if you guys guys like the video, you can show them by leaving a like. You can subscribe for more content. Follow me on my social medias. Support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me completely disproving all of the nonsense that Steven is spreading about me, and of course his buddies are spreading about me. Till next time.
Wow. Okay. Well. What do we think, Joe? Have the lies been debunked? Are we now in the truth zone? I'm feeling pretty truthed up. Holy shit.
So.
That hurt my brain. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna make 7 chests and hope that was enough. Holy, what the fuck is...
Even.
Oh, AJW lies about him too? Dude, AJW just be lying about a lot of people, huh? What isn't that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Say something provocative, poke and laugh. Profit? I know, right? Amazing. Did they lie about you, Mr. Thomas
It wasn't just me. Other people were complaining about it as well, but I actually had
This looks like Rob Noor, not AJW. I'm not gonna lie, but
was just kind of...
yeah, give a fuck less. Dun, 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 dun. Am I gonna do Tiger King debate tonight? No. Nah.
Let's do something easy, breezy, fun.
Dog. What is there?
Do we have anything? Turkey Tom upload anything?
Oh shit, that's right. He did actually. He did upload a new video.
Perfect.
Holy shit, it's 3 hours long though.
3
Holy.
hours? That's a bit long. Does he have anything?
It's the Daniel Larson full documentary.
Wait, I have not seen the rise, fall, and return of Dr. Disrespect. I'm interested in that. Can we?
Alright, let's do this. And then
Alright.
after this I'll probably kill my stream and find something to watch on TV. I gotta go to bed at a somewhat reasonable
streamers
hour.
are labeled as unimaginative, bland, or milquetoast. An exception to this standard is Guy Beam, better known under his online moniker, Dr. Disrespect. Known for his eccentric personality, high production live streams, and exceptional gaming skills, the doc cultivated a following that would land him in the highest echelon of Twitch's biggest creators. However, despite Guy's internet persona being separate from the man he was in his day-to-day life, his personal slip-ups would still manage to break through to the surface. From a cheating scandal that left his viewers shocked and confused, his mysterious and sudden ban from Twitch, and in 2024, allegations of inappropriate discussions with a minor in Twitch's private messaging system. Dr. Disrespect is no stranger to controversy, all at the hands of the person he is when the cameras are off. But why? Did Guy manage to find himself in an unfortunate string of events, or is the man behind Dr. Disrespect much more sinister than we could have ever known? The origin of the Dr. Disrespect character traces back to the early 2000s. While studying for his degree in business administration, Guy would spend his free time playing Halo, a game he found himself to be exceptionally skilled at. Despite being a shy and reserved person, Guy would often take advantage of the game's proximity voice chat, where he would trash talk other players in the lobby.
So you could tell the guy,
gamer,
going
same.
into base with the team, yeah, look at this guy. I know he's upstairs. I'm going to pull the flag. There's nothing he could do about it. I'm going to demolish him, and guess what? He's going to respawn across the map. And you got the other guy on the team who's just listening to this lunatic coming into the base going, oh, you know?
Yeah. Many who had the fortune of loading into a lobby with Guy would find his bombastic persona endearing, and Guy would become well known in the community under his gamertag Diarrhea Panic. A friend of his would suggest turning his in-game antics into something greater, and thus Dr. Disrespect was born. That same day, Guy would go to the store and purchase his iconic black wig, mustache, and sunglasses, a staple of his character that's remained almost 15 years later. Shortly afterwards, Guy would upload his first video to YouTube, fittingly titled The Doc's Very First Video.
I hate snipers. When a sniper wants to stand back, it's a mistake.
In a time where gaming commentary
I'm
videos
so
were reaching their
invested.
peak of popularity, the Doc managed to
Really?
make a name
Oh,
for
yeah.
himself, standing out above his
Oh
Shit, it's
yeah,
pretty
I'm
funny.
curious.
Iconic
And
trash
Turkey
talk
Tom
and
does
satirical
great
intro monologues.
fucking...
All of this showed Doc's commitment to going the extra mile, something that would be a major factor in his future success. Only 4 months after his first upload, he would amass over 7,000 subscribers, and with his rapid success, he would agree to a partnership deal with Machinima, enabling him to monetize his content and make a living as a creator. This video is brought to you by Aura. I don't know about you guys, but I get a lot of scam callers on my phone. Ugh, so cringe. I wish these numbers were all from hot girls who like vaping. I just got one the other day where this guy was pretending to be from Microsoft and was trying to get my personal information. How cringe, I almost gave it to him too. I'm such a silly guy. And that's not all. You may be in danger. The United Healthcare CEO says maybe a third of U.S. citizens were affected by a recent hack. A recent AT&T data breach affected 73 million customers. Their stolen logs even contain records of every number AT&T customers called or texted. So yes, your girlfriend is about to find out you've been calling Chris Tyson and Siri at 3 a.m. on a group call. She's gonna wonder what you were doing.
Not Chris Tyson
How do you
and
explain that?
Siri.
Embarrassing. Thankfully, I, a true certified American patriot and deep state hacker from inside the Matrix, have a great solution, and it's called Aura. Data brokers are currently making a fortune selling your information to robocallers, spammers, and others who want to learn about you to use your information for malicious purposes, like where you live.
Unfortunately for you, I already know that.
But thankfully, Aura
Oh,
can
no.
identify data brokers exposing your
It's a
info and
wrap.
submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Did you know that data brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to? But it can be actually very confusing to figure out how. It's like, oh, how do I do this? I'm so silly. Well, thankfully, Aura can handle it for you, and you don't have to bite into your busy
so
schedule. It's an
silly.
all-in-one app with parental controls, antivirus, VPN,
Unfortunate.
password management, identity theft insurance, and so much more. If you're tired of picking up the phone to robo-scammers to the point that you don't even want to answer, then Aura is for you. Aura will personally alert me if they find a phone number or any other sensitive information that's been compromised. Not only that, they give you fast fraud alerts if anyone tries to use that data to access your credit cards or bank accounts. And all of that in one amazing and affordable price. You silly gooner, what are you waiting for? Stop
Silly
data brokers from
gooner,
exposing
no.
your information and
Dun,
stop
dun,
leaving
dun.
yourself vulnerable to data breaches. Go to my sponsor, aura.com/turkeytom to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of yours is being sold. Link in the pinned comment as well as in the description. You thought you were safe, didn't you? You don't know what they're capable of. Save yourself. Save yourself. It's too late for me. Save yourself. You have been warned. Only a year after his YouTube career began, Dr. Disrespect would take an indefinite hiatus, leaving his 50,000 subscriber channel dormant for the foreseeable future. The reasoning for this hiatus being his new position at Sledgehammer Games, where he worked as a community manager for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, later being promoted to a level designing position for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Over the next few years, Dr. Disrespect
That's
would
pretty
upload
hype.
sporadically, with his content taking a backseat to his work at Sledgehammer. This was until 2015, when Guy would leave the studio for good and pursue a full-time career in streaming, marking the return of Dr. Disrespect.
Those times, they'll fluctuate from week to week, but just as long as you follow my Twitter account, you will stay up to date.
Fans of his YouTube videos had stuck around through the years in anticipation of this moment and would flock to his Twitch. Beginning a consistent schedule in early 2016, Doc would livestream himself playing games such as H1Z1 and PUBG. Over the coming months, his Twitch channel would grow rapidly. By November of 2016, he had amassed over 95,000 followers, and exactly 1 year later, this number would grow to over 1 million, all while averaging 30,000 concurrent viewers per livestream. The culmination of these accomplishments would
Damn.
earn Dr. Disrespect the Streamer
Holy
of the
shit.
Year award that same month, a testament to his skilled gameplay and ability
No
to entertain
joke.
his viewers.
I've realized that I've provided an outlet for a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of hardships. And it makes me proud.
As mentioned previously, Dr. Disrespect was more than just your average live streamer. His impressive gameplay was only a fraction of what truly brought viewers in. His flamboyant persona came along with many notable quips and references, such as him being a two-time Blockbuster video game world champion,
1993, 1994, Blockbuster video game champion in the online gaming community. You're looking at the true international video gaming superstar.
or boasting about his 37-inch vertical leap. While the former seems to be untrue, fabricating some inconsequential achievements was completely on brand for the Doc character. Despite having such a serious and aggressive tone, the Doc would never really take himself all that seriously. This eccentric and satirical persona, paired with occasional moments of vulnerability, would only make Dr. Disrespect more endearing in the eyes of his loyal following.
Casino Royale, thank you for the $49.99. I lost my mother to cancer recently, and your audiobook in particular has helped me stay sane-ish during all this time. You're the best doctor ever. Hey, Casino Royale, man, sorry to hear about your loss. That sucks. That is
Dang.
not a fun time, huh? Damn. I appreciate you being in the arena, especially on a Friday. For the champs, we get a little crazy, get a little psychotic.
All right,
Doc. You listen up and you listen good, okay?
Okay.
You and I.
What began as playful trash talk in his college dorm room became a full-time career. With some of the highest numbers on Twitch and one of the most dedicated audiences on the internet, Dr. Disrespect was seemingly untouchable. But only 1 month after winning Streamer of the Year, in December of 2017, that seemingly untouchable status would begin to fade away. On December 14th, 2017, Dr. Disrespect would go live. Regular viewers likely expected this to be just another live stream. However, this particular stream was anything but ordinary, as many viewers were shocked to see the man behind Dr. Disrespect out of character. In this 3-minute live stream, Guy Beam would confess to cheating on his wife.
I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful and stupid mistakes, man.
This revelation would be met with overwhelming support from his audience, as many appreciated his transparency and genuine remorse. That said, many also questioned his motives for making this information public. Some speculated that he had revealed this information to get ahead of someone else making it public first. Regardless, the finer details of what happened behind the scenes would never come to light. Guy, through tears, would go on to explain his need to take time away from streaming and spend time focusing on his family.
I'm gonna take time off to focus on my family, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. I apologize to you guys, my sponsors and Twitch, and this is not who I am. It's not what I represent, and that's it.
It is what you
and
did.
Dr. Disrespect would do exactly that, returning nearly 2 months later in February of 2018. And his return was not insignificant by any means, as he averaged more than 200,000 concurrent viewers for the entire stream.
Damn.
The doc had not only bounced back, but it seemed his career was on an upward trajectory with no signs of stopping. Not to say he wouldn't walk away from this cheating scandal without some problems. In future streams, Dr. Disrespect would frequently be baited into reading donations poking fun at his marriage out loud.
Get Punk, welcome, Son of Kong. Thank you for the $8. Says, hey, Doc, thanks for being an inspiration. You've inspired me to live life the way I want to. Thank you. I have been with 4 different women in the last month. The wife's not happy, but what can I say? Keep being it. All right, thank you for the $8.
Provoked by players in voice chat.
Hey, watch your mouth, huh?
Actually, the loser cheated on his wife.
Yeah, aren't you the one that needs to tighten his braces up?
As well as being stream sniped by enemy players bearing some version of the name Dr. Disrespects his wife. This cheating scandal would also give a new meaning to the term two-time champion, as two-timing is a euphemism for someone who cheats on their spouse. While this fiasco would leave a stain on his career, Dr. Disrespect was not going anywhere, and neither were his supporters. He remained committed to his intense streaming schedule, and his notoriety only continued to rise. Throughout the next few years, Dr. Disrespect would stay out of trouble, for the most part at least. One notable occurrence took place during a live stream on September 11th, 2018, where during a game of Warzone, loud bangs could be heard coming from outside of the streamer's home. Doc would exit the frame to investigate, only to return out of character, where he would inform his audience that someone had shot at his house and broken a window.
Oh, man! Just not finishing. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got it in the broadcast right now. Someone shot at our house, broke the upstairs window. This is the second shot.
That's
someone shot
crazy. That's
yesterday
not cool.
Someone shot yesterday at our house, and someone shot again right now and connected with the house upstairs. Right?
I think I remember when this happened. Shit.
Right? You pussy!
It's unknown who the shooter is or why they chose to do this, and from what's available online, this issue would not repeat itself. Although, it is worth noting that the local sheriff's department claimed it was only a BB gun. Regardless, Dr. Disrespect had reached such a high level of status that people would be willing to do just about anything to get his attention. While on the subject
High
of breaking
level of
the law,
status,
Dr.
but never
Disrespect
got
was
a
no
better
stranger
way.
to it. On June 12, 2019, the doc attended
Rip.
E3 in Los Angeles, where he would live
No, that was like part of the
himself
aesthetic
watching
was the
event,
cheap
meeting
wig,
up with
man.
fans. At one
Cheap
point
wig
in the
is
stream,
goated.
however, Dr. Disrespect would make his way to the bathroom where he allowed his cameraman to carelessly film strangers pissing in the urinals. This would result in Dr. Disrespect being temporarily banned from Twitch, as well as having his pass for the event revoked. While there are technically
remember
no
seeing
rules
this
in
on
Twitch's terms of
Confident.
service that say you can't film in a public bathroom, there is a rule against filming illegal activity, and this certainly violates California's invasion of privacy laws, which states that you cannot film people without their consent in a place where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Dr. Disrespect would eventually be unbanned, and he would return to streaming without controversy for the next year. He would also go on to win the 2019 Streamer of the Year award, adding a new dimension to his two-time championship champion status. However, this bathroom filming controversy would not be the last time Doc would be banned. In the early hours of June 26, 2020, Dr. Disrespect would broadcast on Twitch for the last time. While no re-uploads of this stream exist on the internet, Doc's final moments on the platform were archived. Towards the end of the stream, we see Doc take his phone out of his pocket and read a text message. While the exact contents of the message are unknown, it's widely assumed to be a message informing Dr. Disrespect of his permanent ban from Twitch. After this, Doc's entire demeanor would change. A minute prior, he stated his intentions of ending the stream, only to change his mind and express his desire to continue, likely hoping to savor his final minutes on the platform that changed his life. Guy Beam, seconds after learning of his termination, would recommend the documentary Renegade to his audience, a documentary that details the life and controversies of David Icke, a well-known conspiracy theorist who, throughout his career, has been heavily criticized and censored for his views. David Icke has garnered infamy relating to his beliefs on climate change, 9/11, interdimensional reptiles, and general government corruption. While this could be pure coincidence, it may also be a reference on Doc's behalf that the powers that be were colluding to destroy him. This coincides with his emphasis on the importance of waking up.
Whether some of the stuff is not true or not, whatever. I think the whole goal though is to wake up!
While it's unknown to what extent Dr. Disrespect engages in conspiracies of this nature, the Doc is no stranger to expressing what some would consider unconventional beliefs, most notably his affinity for shungite.
I bought a whole bunch of shungite rocks. Do you know what shungite is? Anybody know what shungite is? No, not Sugnite. I think he's locked up in prison. Talking shungite. Anyways, it's a 2 billion year old like rock stone that protects against frequencies and unwanted frequencies that may be traveling in the air. That's my story. I bought a whole bunch of stuff, put them around the La Casa, little pyramids, stuff like that.
Not only is there no direct evidence of shungite having this ability, but shungite may actually pose severe health risks as it contains high amounts of lead and cadmium. But I digress. In his final moments on Twitch, Dr. Disrespect
One submerged in water.
Roblox video played in the background. After spending a few minutes to collect his thoughts, he would end his stream, reassuring his audience that we'll get through this. This abrupt ending would leave his viewers confused, but not for long. That same day, the streamer band's Twitter account would officially announce Dr. Disrespect's ban from Twitch, with no reasoning stated. More information would come to light as independent gaming journalist Slasher would report sources. Dr. Disrespect has been permanently banned from Twitch. It is not DMCA. Twitch themselves will then address this decision through CNN reporter Shannon Liao, stating, "As is our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers regardless of status or prominence in the community." Twitch would begin refunding subscribers of the Doc, an unconventional courtesy that had not been afforded to patrons of other banned streamers in the past. His sponsors would also begin to sever ties, such as Razer, Game Fuel, and Discord, who decided to revoke their partnership agreement with the streamer. Confusingly, Razer and Game Fuel would almost immediately reinstate their ad campaigns featuring the Doc. These events only continued to stoke the flames of the controversy. Dr. Disrespect's wife would comment on the situation later that night in an Instagram story post saying, "The outpouring of love, support, and strength and kindness from the arena has truly been overwhelming. You all have made my heart full, and I cannot thank you enough. No one better out there than the Champions Club. You guys are amazing." A notable element of all the statements made so far is that no official reasoning is given as to why Twitch decided to cut all ties with their biggest creator, and as a result, speculation on Twitch's reasoning would become the main focus of the story.
Of course, in response to all this, Reddit and Twitter did what they do best, come up with the worst possible theories and speculation on what's going on.
Doc liked Trump's tweet, it's the only explanation. It has nothing to do with political things. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, in shungite. Like, it's just, that's so dumb.
Like, well, this is almost an example, right, of their ban system. It's like, Doc gets banned, he doesn't even know why, right? And so then, everyone's just like, what's going on?
You know, I can say it like this. I think Doc may have his own Triple B meme.
Triple B?
I think that would have to be to that level to have it be this serious.
Dan's implying that Dr.
Not implying anything. No.
Might have the minor.
One Reddit user commented on some of the more prominent theories in the wake of Dr. Disrespect's termination, saying, "Some believe that he might have had undisclosed advertising or sponsorship contracts that have been found out, as if he was advertising sponsored products without disclosing that he was a paid sponsor. That would be an FCC violation and could be one possible reason why he was banned." Others have speculated that it might be a morality clause issue. He's had issues in the past, including accusations of racism, and he also plainly got caught cheating on his wife. All of this is currently hearsay, though. It's possible we'll never know the reason, if if he chooses to never explain it. All of these theories were nothing more than speculation and rumors in a sea of complete mystery. But as it turns out, it appeared even the man himself was unsure as to why he was removed from the platform. The following day, on the 27th of June, Dr. Disrespect would release his first public statement on the ban. Champions Club, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time. Dr. Disrespect. With the cryptic nature of everyone's statements, the unexplained decisions made behind the scenes, as well as the status of the doc, this controversy surrounding his ban would become one of the internet's greatest mysteries. While next to nothing was known in regards to the decision Twitch made, one thing was for certain. Whatever Dr. Disrespect had done was enough to warrant his permanent removal. Dr. Disrespect's presence on Twitch was not worth the risk of ignoring what had transpired behind the scenes, meaning that whatever Doc had done severely outweighed the positive impact he had on the platform. This speaks volumes to the potential magnitude of what earned him his ban in the first place. Guy would take a brief hiatus from streaming, and would later give an interview with PC Gamer on July 16th, where it was revealed that even weeks later, he had apparently still not been informed as to why he was banned. And Twitch has just cut off contact with you? They've never provided you a reason for the ban? Yeah, that seems crazy to me. To ban one of its most infamous, popular streamers and to not even tell them what they did wrong? Yeah, that's kind of the mind-blowing thing about all of this. Obviously, for legal counsel, I have to be careful here, but I can say, however, that I will not be returning to Twitch, so I mean, that's it. The interviewer would go on to ask, Twitch recently has banned several streamers who have been outed as sexual harassers, abusers, and otherwise toxic individuals. To your knowledge, is your Twitch ban the result of someone alleging that you harassed, abused, or assaulted them in any way? I'm not interested in engaging crazy speculation. I've seen all the theories, I've seen all the possible conspiracies, and it's just like, I'm not interested in engaging that type of stuff. I have a great community of loyal fans, and I'm totally focused on getting back and delivering great, entertaining content, and that's where the focus is. It is worth mentioning the massive wave of misconduct allegations that were levied in a multitude of different live streamers on Twitch around this time. This issue would boil over and trigger a response from Twitch themselves, who would form an incident response team codenamed Gold Sparrow. This coincided with a public response from Twitch, which reads, "We take accusations of harassment and misconduct extremely seriously. We are actively looking into the accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable. We're thankful for the bravery shown by those who have come forward to speak about their experiences, and we are committed to working to make the streaming community safer for everyone." This statement would be published to Twitter on the 21st of June, just 5 days before Dr. Disrespect would be permanently banned. In hindsight, one may believe these two events were connected. However, it was entirely possible the decision to ban Dr. Disrespect was purely coincidental. Regardless, no one with any amount of credibility seemed to have an answer. That is, except for one independent gaming journalist by the name of Rod Breslau, better known as Slasher. The day after Dr. Disrespect's ban, he would tweet out, "Look, for several hours now, I've been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect was banned. However, due to the importance and sensitivity around the subject, I refrained from going into it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently." Many felt off-put by this statement, as it doesn't seek to inform the public of anything aside from the fact that he supposedly knows something that we do not. Along with statements like this on Twitter, Slasher would also make public appearances on the platforms of streamers like Hassan Piker and the Scuffed podcast, hosted by Trainwrecks. These appearances would be underwhelming and disappointing, as Slasher would give next to no information on the situation, and anything he did say was vague and cryptic at best. This would frustrate not only the viewers of these streams, but even the streamers themselves.
You're like, I'm here to set the record straight. I shouldn't have revealed bits and pieces, and then you literally did the exact same thing.
As Slasher's main appeal was his insider knowledge on the situation, he refused to say anything about. This behavior caused Slasher to be labeled as a clout chaser, and many, including Destiny, believed he didn't actually know anything at all. Slasher's reasoning for parsing his words was his fear of legal action being taken against him, wanting to release the information through an established news publication to protect him from litigation, something he would never be able to do. All of this talk from Slasher would amount to almost nothing. The dust would inevitably settle. It seemed that the truth behind Dr. Disrespect's ban would stay a mystery, at least for the time being, and it was only a matter of time before the doc would make his return. First, posting a teaser to his Twitter account on the 16th of July. He would go silent once again until the 6th of August, announcing that the next day he would be going live on his YouTube channel, where he would be streaming for the foreseeable future. Dr. Disrespect's first stream on YouTube caught the attention of many, with nearly 500,000 concurrent viewers in attendance. This truly goes to show the dedication of the audience he cultivated, who were willing to follow him wherever he went. The doc would obviously address his ban, and would once again affirm that he had still not been given a reason.
In regards to the ban, they want to know what happened. Why did you get banned? Guess what? I want you to look me in my eyes when I say this. You're not looking me in my eyes. Hold on. I really want you to look me in my eyes. Okay? I really want you to look me in my eyes when I say this. We still have no idea
It's hard to imagine after nearly 2 months since his ban that Twitch would not give their former largest creator an explanation. This confusion weighed on the doc himself more than anyone else, saying it caused him immense amounts of anxiety and stress to be left in the dark.
The fact that I am here live on YouTube, it's been a fantastic return, I'm telling you. It is. But my anxiety levels are it's something that comes in these huge waves, and I'm having a hard time dealing with it. I'll be honest. It was taken away from us. And to not know why, I am just, man.
Fortunately for him, he wouldn't be left in the dark forever. A year after his ban from Twitch, he would disclose that he had been given a reason as to why he was banned. However, much like everyone else in this story, he chose not to make the reason public.
But a lot of people ask me, do you know the reason? Yeah, I do know the reason why now. I've known for months now the reason why. And I'll just say this right now, champs. There's a reason why we're suing the f out of them. Okay? I don't know how else to put it.
The only other update on the situation would come on March 10th of 2022, where Doc stated, "I've resolved my legal dispute with Twitch. No party admits to any wrongdoing." Doc also states in his post simply that he is moving on. Some found this statement strange, as Dr. Disrespect still refrained from explaining why he was banned. If he was the victim of a supposedly unfair decision, one might think he'd be eager to explain the troubling situation. Yet, he confusingly chose to keep it private. It is possible that part of the resolved dispute was under the agreement that the doc couldn't disclose the nature of his ban. It's also possible, however, that Dr. Disrespect wanted to keep it a mystery of his own accord. As we'd soon find out, both of these possibilities were major factors. Almost 4 years after the original ban, on the 21st of June 2024, former Twitch employee Cody Connors would allege the reasoning for Doc's ban publicly, stating, "He got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang. No one made the wrong decision, him and his boys." This post would be met with overwhelming pushback initially, with many asking for proof of the claims and questioning the reliability of Cody as a source. And they were justified in doubting the authenticity of this statement, as Cody had previously teased releasing information on Dr. Disrespect's ban multiple times under the condition that his band would sell enough concert tickets.
That was not a
Regardless,
smart
Jake
move.
Lucky would signal boost these allegations, prompting the doc himself to respond. "Jake, seriously, I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract." A few notable points stick out in this statement, the most obvious being that rather than directly stating the claim being made is false, Doc chose to say no wrongdoing was acknowledged, seeming to be a way of telling the truth without directly denying the validity of the statement itself. Another interesting aspect was Doc's claim that he was bought out of his contract, information that up until this point was not public record. This means that likely part of the legal dispute being resolved was a monetary settlement that awarded him the remainder of his contract with Twitch. These two pieces of information painted a very damning picture. Many believe this was an indirect admission of guilt, with the added context that Twitch still chose to pay out his contract despite that. Guy Beam would further elaborate the next day, saying, "Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All of this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday." This statement, much like the last, said more in subtle context than it did in substance, as once again, Dr. Disrespect refused to say whether or not the allegations were true. Even if there was an NDA in regards to a settlement, it's reasonable to assume that he would have the ability to deny false allegations that have no relation to the NDA itself. For example, if Dr. Disrespect was permanently banned for failure to disclose sponsors, he would not be able to discuss the nature of those practices. If someone falsely alleged that Doc was banned for murder, why would he be prevented from denying that allegation? This is simply not how NDAs work. Non-disclosure agreements are designed to ensure that sensitive information is not permitted to be revealed to the public. If the allegation of inappropriate discussions with a minor was not a factor in this NDA, then it simply would not apply. While Doc may not be allowed to disclose the exact reasoning for his ban, dismissing false info would certainly not fall under the umbrella of an NDA. Considering the nature of Doc's statements, public opinion quickly began to change, as Dr. Disrespect was unwilling to dismiss the supposedly unrelated allegations directly. Dr. Disrespect claims that nothing illegal happened, which could entirely be the case, but this fact would not dismiss the merit of the allegations. The age of consent in many states is 16 years old, and so while there may be no legal ramifications for engaging sexually with someone of that age, there is still the overwhelming societal standards that doing so is unethical and exploitative. It's also worth mentioning that laws relating to online relations are even more inconsistent and vague. This also draws into question his claim that he didn't do anything wrong. If he's using a standard of legality to support this, then he may have a case. But if the allegations are true, it's hard to believe he wouldn't find this behavior to be a poor decision at the very least. As mentioned earlier, this entire statement left more questions than answers and was far more pivotal pivotal in shifting the narrative than the original allegations themselves. Dr. Disrespect ended his statement, affirming his intentions to continue streaming with an Elden Ring stream on Monday the 24th. However, this situation was far from over. Many of the Doc's partnerships began to fall through. Turtle Beach, best known for their gaming headsets, would quickly sever their partnership and move all merchandise related to the Doc from their website. This was followed by NBA 2K24's publisher, 2K Games, establishing their intentions to remove Doc's name and likeness from their game in their next patch release. The San Francisco 49ers, who allowed Doc to make an appearance at the 2022 NFL Draft, announced they would no longer be working with the creator moving forward. Game Fuel, who had previously cut ties with the Doc in the past, would once again decide to separate from the streamer, this time as a permanent decision. First Watch, developer of the third-person shooter Rogue Company, would remove their $20 skin of the Doc from the game and offer refunds for anyone who purchased it. This particular decision would spark controversy, as the refunds would only be given in their in-game currency, Rogue Bucks, instead of actual money. All of these revoked partnerships painted a very bad picture of what potentially transpired behind the scenes, but none were more damning than what would come next. As promised, Doc would boot up his live stream on the 24th of June, around 10:30 a.m. EST. Around 3 hours in, however, Doc would look down at his phone and his demeanor would suddenly change. An almost identical reflection of his final moments live streaming on Twitch. Guy Beam would stay silent for the next minute before expressing his fatigue over the events of the last few days.
I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little fatigued, We came in here, high energy, but I'm telling you, man, I'm just feeling fatigued, feeling a little burnt out.
He would go on to vent about the draining nature of existing on social media as a public figure.
I've always kind of hinted like it'd be nice to get off and just completely separate, right? Go live in Costa Rica or something.
Doc would then establish his intention to take a vacation away from social media. Most notably, however, before ending his stream, he would express intentions to step away from Midnight Society, a gaming studio he founded in 2021.
I mean, I'm gonna have to relay this to the Midnight Society, but maybe I step away from there too. Just completely remove myself from the scene. It's what I need to do.
At the time, Dr. Disrespect claims he planned to inform the team working at the studio of this decision. However, it seems as though he was not entirely honest when saying this, because shortly after Doc's livestream would go dark, the Midnight Society Twitter account would post the following message. On Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, also known as Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved, and in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed along with our community of players. The magnitude of this controversy cannot be overstated. Not only was one of the most prominent live streamers on the internet being labeled a predator, not only was he losing brand deals and sponsorships, but the Doc was even being removed from personal projects he helped create. That, paired with the added context of potentially explaining one of the biggest mysteries on the entire internet, catapulted this scandal far past the level of a typical misconduct allegation. Seemingly, with his hands tied, Dr. Disrespect was forced to release a statement, where on June 25th, he would write the following. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the bullcrap. You all know there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. This contradicts a statement posted by Midnight Society the day prior, where they claim to have investigated the situation personally, resulting in their decision to terminate their relationship with him. Yet, Doc claims it was a mutual decision. He continues, saying, "Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whispers with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind those messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. What was once considered to be a baseless allegation from a desperate clout chaser was now confirmed confirmed by the man himself. Dr. Disrespect indeed had a sexual discussion with a minor, like Cody had alleged. However, the doc did not feel obligated to explain the finer details. In fact, quite the opposite. He chose to define the conversations as leaning in the direction of being inappropriate. Many were confused by this statement and what it implied. Some might assume this means they sexted, while others could interpret this as simply discussing topics that are inappropriate to have with someone under the age of consent. Both of these, while wrong, are vastly different in terms of moral culpability and potential harm for him. If the conversations were truly well-intentioned and only became inappropriate with an occasional joke, one would think that Doc would simply explain that. But if the conversations were much more charged, the doc's framing would be completely disingenuous. He would then continue, claiming that nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Many who read this statement would find Dr. Disrespect's wording to be odd. Cody Connors claimed that Doc was trying to meet up with some anonymous minor, a claim that Doc doesn't inherently refute. He claims that they didn't meet up in person, which doesn't dismiss the possibility of him at least attempting to meet up with them. Doc also emphasizes that what he did was not illegal and that there was no criminal charges against him. This also doesn't dismiss the possibility of these conversations being sexually graphic. Doc lives in California, where the age of consent is 18. That being said, age of consent laws in regard to sexual online communications in California tend to be a bit ambiguous and hard to define, as there are no direct laws against sexual conversations with someone under the age of 18. But just because there were no criminal charges, that doesn't exonerate the doc of this allegation, and it certainly does not clear him of any moral wrongdoing. This reality, however, is something Doc seemingly owns up to. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll own my This was stupid. Dr. Disrespect would then defend his character, dismissing claims that he's some kind of creep. Now, with all this said, don't get it mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no predator or Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me knows where I stand on those things and those types of people. Screw that. That's a different level of disgust that I hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get out of here with that. If we're to take Dr. Disrespect on his word that no crimes were committed despite engaging sexually with a minor, then he could potentially be correct, but this is really splitting hairs at this point. Doc would then apologize to his peers and community before asserting his intention of pushing through this controversy. Trust me when I say this, to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real-life experience, I don't care about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of that's fine, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear? Yeah, right. It seems that every statement made in regards to the situation leaves more questions than answers. So what do we know? Well, for starters, we know that Doc indeed had inappropriate conversations with a minor. To what extent, however, is currently unknown. What is known is that whatever happened in these private DMs was enough for Twitch, Discord, and even Doc's own gaming studio to decide it was worthy of cutting ties with him. It's also clear that the circumstances of the last few weeks invalidated whatever NDA was in place that kept the doc from speaking on the subject. So it confused many that he wouldn't directly dismiss the claims or elaborate on key details. Assuming that what he says is 100% true, additional context and more details would only benefit his case, yet he chooses to be as ambiguous as possible. Rather than dismissing his alleged plans of meeting up with a minor, he just says it never happened. Rather than explaining his true intentions, he ambiguously states there were no real intentions at all. And rather than elaborating on the nature of these discussions, he described them as leaning in the direction of being inappropriate. Why would Doc choose to say so little with his career and reputation on the line? Many assume this is because the reality of the situation coming to light has far worse consequences than obfuscating the facts of the matter. Doc would even go as far as removing the phrase individual minor from the tweet and just replacing it with individual, a decision he would then undo once he received backlash. This statement, as it is written, simply wouldn't satisfy those hungry for answers, which only fanned the flames of discourse. This was the perfect opportunity for Slasher to once again do a media campaign reminiscent of the one he did in 2020. When the allegations first broke, Slasher would take to Twitter simply stating, "I didn't lie." Slasher never directly alleged that this was why Dr. Disrespect was banned. All that he claimed was that he knew the reason. This information coming to light does not prove that he knew the whole time, as he never alleged anything similar. This tweet seems to achieve nothing aside from bragging that he knew all along, something he was ridiculed for in the wake of Doc's ban from Twitch. Slasher seemingly seemingly did not learn from his mistakes and proceeded to make appearances on live streams hosted by Destiny and Hassan Piker. As expected, Slasher would seldom answer any questions in relation to the events that transpired between Dr. Disrespect and the minor.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just
despite
replying to
claiming
emails
know
too.
Just about everything.
Um,
Slasher claims Dr.
my,
Disrespect
Craigslist
knew the
ads
age
for
of the minor
roommates
while
and shit.
speaking with them, but when asked how old they were, he refused to answer the question.
Do you know the age of the person? Are they 17 or are they younger than 17?
I do not have comment.
The age of the individual was extremely important to many online, as it would be beneficial in contextualizing the scope of Dr.
Why would
Disrespect's
you not have
actions.
comment
If the minor
unless
was on
the
younger
person
end of
was
the
over
spectrum,
18?
That would greatly inform the decision-making
'cause-
process of online spectators.
Dude,
Not to
it's-
say that if
it's
they were
that
17,
juice,
it
bro.
wouldn't be
Get
wrong,
that
but
juice
this
out. I don't
individual
know,
being
dude.
either 12 or
He's
17
one of those-
would
I don't know,
be
man,
two
dude.
very
You
different
slipped the
pictures of
bell?
the severity of the situation.
My
Slasher
GGG
felt
chat
as though this
broke?
information, including the content of the
this?
messages
Oh,
themselves,
no.
were too sensitive to make public,
Fucking
yet could never
motherfucker.
provide a feasible reason as to why. Initially
Am I
stating that leaking this
banished?
info
What
would
is
put
this?
the minor at
7, 8.
risk.
Quote unquote, it not only endangers the victim, which needs to be the priority, Destiny. It's not for
Wait, how would it?
I
how
mean,
would that? How does it endanger the victim?
any potential for the victim to be identified.
How would it? How could it possibly lead to the victim being identified?
After being grilled by Destiny on this point, Slasher quickly shifts to explaining that it's illegal to share these messages.
Yeah, but how is the public seeing a personal DM going to like clue them in? Like, do we have?
It's not. It is illegal to publicly show underage minors and their conversations.
There's
Why would
no shot that's illegal.
There's no law stating that it's illegal to view third-party discussion involving a minor. In fact, there have been countless instances of online conversations involving minors being released with no legal repercussions. What Slasher is saying is not only categorically false, he's more than likely just making this excuse up on the spot. According to Slasher himself, Twitch reported these findings to the proper authorities. Doc, as far as we know, has never faced legal repercussions for these messages. If the messages themselves didn't warrant legal action, why would making them public be any different?
Twitch's responsibility ultimately will always be on the victim and to try to do what they can, and specifically in this case, because it involved a minor, having it always be as anonymous as possible. If it goes to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they are directly involved with law enforcement around the country to then investigate, okay? But then afterwards of what has potentially happened, there is no information. I do not have information after that. However, any case, even with the CSCA, not just CSAM, has to be reported to NCMEC automatically.
If there is sensitive information that could potentially expose the minor to harm, then that information could be easily censored. This excuse simply wouldn't suffice, and many believed it was only fair that they were informed on the true nature of what really happened. Slasher believes that Twitch did the right thing by not making this information available. This line of thinking is ironic, considering he would praise Cody and his character, despite being the one to blow the whistle on the scandal.
Cody is he's the man. I love Cody.
It's also worth noting, considering the potential threat not making the situation public could cause. If the doc were to reoffend, only for it to be discovered that Twitch had known about his behavior all along, not only could this potentially put other minors at risk, but the reputation of Twitch itself would be tarnished.
Sure, you can say all of this, but like Twitch could have literally just said like, we've terminated the contract with Dr. Disrespect because we found out that he was engaged in illicit sexual contact with underage people.
Which begs the question, what incentivized Twitch to keep this story under wraps? One theory is that the reality of Twitch's biggest streamer using their platform to have illicit conversations with minors would be a PR disaster. Not to mention, this all took place during a massive wave of sexual misconduct allegations levied against other Twitch streamers. Twitch was already feeling the heat, and the face of their platform being added to a long list of misconduct would likely damage their reputation beyond repair. This would also explain why Twitch was willing to pay out Doc's remaining contract agreement in a legal dispute. It's very possible that Twitch wanted to keep it a secret just as much as the Doc did. Slasher, with help of Rolling Stone, was able to publish an article detailing the situation. The majority of this article covers things that have already been discussed in this video. However, there are some notable pieces of info worth mentioning. Rolling Stone was able to review internal Twitch communications and interviewed a trusted source with information on the situation. Their investigation confirmed that Doc was banned for allegedly sexting a minor, even after learning that she was underage. Journalists at Bloomberg were also given confirmation from 3 different sources corroborating the story. 2 of these sources would also confirm Doc's alleged inquiry about the minor attending TwitchCon. I recall that Dr. Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on. The former employee says, "There was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before, and I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate." When the initial report about Beam's alleged inappropriate messages came out in 2020, an investigation began. After viewing the contents of the Whisper conversation, it quickly became clear the egregiousness of conduct and what actions Twitch must take, the former employee says. The decision to permanently terminate Beam was relatively quick due to the severity of the behavior. While Dr. Disrespect began streaming on YouTube, he was never offered a contract to exclusively stream on the platform. This fact was shocking, as Doc still remained one of the biggest live streamers on the planet. The article also details the reasoning behind this decision. Rolling Stone would speak with Ryan Wyatt, who was the former global head of gaming partnerships at Google. The unfortunate part of all of it was there were so many rumors circulating in the industry. One, that a minor was involved, he says, but no one produced first-hand knowledge or evidence, and because of the rumors, there was no reason to entertain doing any deal with Beam, and no evidence produced means you can't act on a terms of service violation. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors, but even still, there was never a reason to do a deal with him after that ban. While next to nothing was confirmed, it was almost unanimously agreed on that Dr. Disrespect's ban was justified, with sponsors pulling out, inside sources confirming the allegations, platforms being unwilling to give him a deal, and the man himself even admitting to the events. As a result, many prominent figures would voice their opinions. Valkyrie would crack a joke at his expense, referring to him as Dr. Disgusting. Pokimane would also react to the situation, simply saying, yuck. These seemingly innocuous tweets would provoke controversial live streamer Sneeko to respond.
They're okay if you're 13 years old, edging to Pokemon all day. But if Dr. Disrespect texts a girl who's 17 years old, 11 months, 364 days, 59 minutes and 59 seconds, he's the worst person ever. Why?
While most found this comparison to be rather unconvincing, there were still a large number of people who echoed a similar sentiment.
Dang, I think I
Either
might have
that
found a
whatever
perfect
Doc had
fit
done was
roommate
not
though,
that
holy
bad,
shit.
Or more specifically, that there wasn't enough evidence to make a harsh judgment. That being said,
Oh my
there was no
gosh.
evidence to support
We're
the idea
praying
that this
for
minor was
Jamie,
17
boys.
years old, as many, including Sneeko, claim. This idea comes from an alleged leaked email from a former Twitch employee that many believe to be a hoax. Most notably, this email claims that the Twitch whispers were from weeks prior to his last stream. This contradicts what Doc himself claims, as his final stream was in 2020 and the messages were from 2017. This email also claims that no sexting took place, that Twitch was monitoring his private messages, and that Twitch had an agenda to force him out after his bathroom scandal. None of these claims have been verified by reputable sources, and established publications like Rolling Stone and Bloomberg have confirmed the opposite of what is described in the email. Despite the questionable authenticity of this email, many still run with the narrative that the minor was only 17. A notable aspect that is yet to be brought up is that both the cheating scandal and the Twitch whisper messages both took place in 2017 and could be related, displaying a potential pattern of behavior relating to Doc cheating on his wife. This pattern would become prevalent after a trans sex worker by the name of Lena Love would allege that in 2017, Dr. Disrespect engaged in conversations with her behind his wife's back. Lena claims she was being exploited by the doc, claiming that he used her to give him cam shows under the agreement he would assist in getting her a Twitch partnership. This information seemed to be brought up opportunistically, with many questioning the severity of the situation. Regardless, this allegation would only add fire to the discourse, something that is still ongoing to this day. The
we're
harsh
praying
reality
for
of all of this
Jamie,
is
bro.
that Dr. Disrespect is the only one willing to shed light on the situation. Regardless of his cryptic and vague wording, Doc
They are
maintains his
around my
innocence,
age
something no one seems to be willing to
and
challenge
work
with
10
concrete
hours a
evidence
day.
released to the public. The doc did return to Twitter to tease a potential comeback after posting a promotional image
And
of
they
him
have a
playing
cat.
chess while the opponent is playing checkers, implying he
And
is
they
on a
sent me a
different
picture of
level
their
than his
cat, and their
detractors.
cat's cute,
Doc would then
so
take it
I
upon
immediately
himself
want
to
them in my
respond
house
to
now.
negative comments with insults surrounding the user's alleged
It's a big ol'
wokeness and
mancoon.
use of pronouns. And as new stories of internet misconduct come to
okay.
light, the
I
Doc
can work with
scandal has
that.
begun to fall out of relevancy. With so much speculation and confusion, it's hard to imagine Doc won't be able to recover. With no concrete
Dude, Tom
evidence being
killed it
released
on
to
the music,
public
though.
and an army of dedicated supporters, Doc
Yeah,
will
it's
more than
very
likely move past this hurdle as he's done every time before.
I'm glad I thought to
What
check
should have
that
been
though.
The final chapter of this
Shit.
infamous
I've been
internet
getting like
mystery
nothing but
may be
spam
far
on
from
my
over.
Facebook Marketplace ad. I was like mega disheartened, and I like checked my email. I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me check my email and see if maybe I got some good like Craigslist
It
hits.
is very unlikely that
I
the
was like,
complete
"Ooh."
truth will ever be revealed. I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
Thank you, Tom.
We proceeded to not leave Tom alone.
We will never.
No, not ever.
You bid adieu to your stream. And I'm gonna jump back into Mad Men area with J2. He is resting right now. But it's a good server to just hang out in while he's resting until he gets up.
Okay, for sure. Hell yeah. All right.